They talked all night about you, and the things they said made one woman cry, one man vanish, and one relative faint. My child, don't scroll now. This moment has been chosen for you, and if you skip, you will miss what heaven was whispering all night long about your name. They talked all night about you in the unseen realms, and what they said shook the very air of eternity. One woman cried when your name was spoken. One man vanished as if his presence could no longer withstand the truth. And one relative fainted under the weight of what was revealed. Listen, because this is not coincidence. This is about you. Heaven never speaks without purpose, and tonight it was your life that became the topic of divine conversation. Angels gathered, spirits leaned close, and even those who are no longer on this earth turned their attention to your story. Your name echoed across the night like a fire that would not be put out. And when your name was spoken, the room of eternity shifted. Tears fell from one woman's eyes, not out of sadness, but because she finally saw the light of what has been hidden from you. A man, standing tall in pride, disappeared from the circle as though exposed by the truth. And a relative who thought they carried strength fainted under the revelation of what is coming to you. Don't scroll. Hear this. For hours and hours, every word spoken was about you. They said you have been walking with burdens no one fully understood. They said you carried secrets that others never honored. They said you were targeted because of the light that you carry. And as they spoke, the heavens began to tremble with the weight of destiny being unlocked in your favor. You are not watching this by accident. This message has been released at the exact second your spirit is most ready to hear it. The conversation of heaven last night has traveled through realms and arrived right here, right now, in front of your eyes. They talked about your victories, about your pain, about your stolen moments, about your future that was delayed but cannot be denied. And the tears, the vanishing, the fainting, these are not signs of weakness but signs of what truth does when it arrives. Truth shakes. Truth exposes. Truth restores. Now listen, because God says, I am entering your story with power. What was whispered in secret will now be shouted in light. What was hidden in the dark will now be unveiled before your eyes. This is why the woman cried, because she saw how much you endured silently, and she saw the restoration that is finally on its way. The man vanished because he could not stand against what is coming for you. His false power dissolved in the presence of divine truth. And your relative fainted because even bloodlines cannot carry the weight of this revelation until I strengthen them. My child, don't move away now. This moment is alive with fire. You are standing in the very center of what heaven has been arranging for you. Last night's conversation about you was not a small talk. It was a courtroom, a gathering, a divine meeting where your destiny was discussed with authority. As your name was spoken, angels carried scrolls in their hands. Each scroll contained records of your battles, your losses, your victories, and your tears. They read them out loud before the eternal judge, and every sound of your pain shook the heavens like thunder. They said, "This one has endured storms that would have destroyed others. This one has walked through fire but has not been consumed. This one was mocked, rejected, forgotten, but still stands in the light." That is why the woman cried. She saw that your scars were not wasted. She saw that your pain was never in vain. Her tears fell because she recognized that you were stronger than anyone ever gave you credit for. And her tears watered the soil of your new beginning. That is why the man vanished. He had spoken against you in secret. He had built walls to keep you from your own promise. But when your name was declared with power, the ground beneath him could not hold his lies anymore. His shadow disappeared because truth left no room for his schemes. That is why the relative fainted. Sometimes even family cannot comprehend the size of the destiny God has placed on you. Sometimes they collapse under the weight of your calling. But hear me, your destiny will not collapse with them. You will rise even when they fall. Don't scroll. Don't miss this. Because heaven is saying, now is the moment of reversal. Now is the hour of restoration. Now is the turning point you prayed for in silence. The angels wrote a decree over your life. They signed it with fire and sealed it with eternal ink. That decree says, no more delays. No more denials. No more stolen blessings. The time of release has come. This is why you are hearing this today. Because the meeting of heaven last night has been transformed into the miracle of your present moment. They talked all night about you because God was preparing to shift everything in your favor. You have been walking in shadows, but light is breaking through. You have been fighting unseen battles, but the victory has been declared in your name. You have been overlooked, but now heaven has announced you publicly. Listen, there is a reason your spirit feels stirred right now. It is because you were not meant to skip this word. You were not meant to scroll past this moment. God is saying, I am lifting you higher. I am opening doors that were shut for years. I am erasing the shame and replacing it with honor. The woman's tears, the man's vanishing, the relatives fainting, these were signs. Signs that truth has already begun to shake the world around you. Signs that the atmosphere is shifting. Signs that the unseen is becoming seen. Do not doubt it. Do not delay it. Do not ignore it. For heaven says, this is the hour of unveiling. The story they wrote about you in lies is being burned. The truth I wrote about you in eternity is being revealed. Your enemies are already restless. Your destiny is already glowing. Your breakthrough is already moving. And soon, the very people who overlooked you will not be able to deny you. So stay right here. Keep your heart open. For the same angels who spoke your name last night are standing near you even now. They are waiting to place into your hands the very thing that was decided in the courts of heaven. All through the night, the conversation in heaven circled around your journey. They spoke about the times you gave when you had little. They spoke about the times you loved even when you were not loved in return. They spoke about the days you carried heavy burdens but still lifted your head toward the sky. Every sacrifice, every tear, every unspoken pain was placed upon the scales of eternity. And when the scales tipped, it was in your favor. The woman cried because she felt the breaking of chains around your name. She wept because she realized how long you had been carrying burdens that were not yours to carry. Her tears became a symbol that justice has been called down on your behalf. The man vanished because he had been standing in the shadow of deception. He had built his strength on lies about you, but when your name was spoken with power, his foundation collapsed. He disappeared because truth stripped him of disguise. The relative fainted because some truths are too powerful to be carried by human strength. The revelation about you was so heavy that even blood could not hold it without trembling. But while they fainted, you are being lifted higher, because you were made for this weight. Don't scroll now, because God says, I am setting the table in the presence of those who doubted you. I am preparing a crown in the presence of those who mocked you. I am opening the gates in the presence of those who tried to lock them shut. This is why your name was the focus of heaven's night meeting. Because the time has come for your destiny to step out of silence. The time has come for your light to shine in places it was hidden. The time has come for your story to be rewritten with glory. Hear this: every moment of waiting, every season of delay, every night of tears has now become evidence in your favor. And heaven's decree is final. No power can erase what is written for this one. No enemy can cancel what has been ordained. No delay can stop what is destined. So stay still in your spirit. Watch closely. For in the days ahead, you will see doors open in ways that cannot be explained. You will see faces change when truth about you is revealed. You will hear conversations that confirm what you are listening to now. The woman's tears are the sign of restoration. The man's vanishing is the sign of exposure. The relative's fainting is the sign of revelation. Together, they are the three witnesses that your season has shifted. And as this truth unfolds, you will not walk alone. The very angels who carried your name through the courts of heaven are assigned to walk with you now. They will whisper when you doubt, they will strengthen you when you feel weak, they will surround you when you feel alone. God is saying, lift your head. Your time has come. The night has ended. The dawn has broken. What was hidden in whispers will now be announced in light. What they said about you in secret will now be reversed in public. And what I spoke over you before the foundations of the earth will now manifest in your days. The woman cried because she saw what you could not see. She saw the blessings that were kept away from you suddenly being released. She saw the rivers that were blocked now breaking open. Her tears were not of sorrow but of recognition, that everything stolen from you is about to return multiplied. The man vanished because truth is like fire. It burns everything false until only the real remains. He had built walls of lies against you, but one word of truth from heaven reduced them to ashes. He disappeared not because he was strong, but because his false strength could not survive the flame of your destiny. The relative fainted because the truth is too heavy for those who are not chosen to carry it. Even family can collapse under the power of your calling. But while they fainted, you remained standing, because you were born to carry this revelation. Now listen carefully. God says, I have seen your silent nights. I have counted your hidden tears. I have walked with you in moments when you thought you were abandoned. And I declare to you today, the season of silence is over. The season of hiddenness is finished. The time of manifestation has arrived. This is why you cannot scroll. Because in this very hour, the shift has begun. What they said about you last night is manifesting in your reality today. They said your strength has been tested like gold in fire, and it is true. They said your destiny was delayed but not denied, and it is true. They said your story is about to turn into a testimony that will silence every voice of doubt, and it is true. Every tear that fell last night was recorded. Every secret conversation was witnessed. Every lie told about you has now been exposed before heaven. And heaven's decree is this: enough has been taken. Enough has been stolen. Now restoration begins. This is the moment where your path shifts. You will notice sudden changes, doors opening where they were locked, opportunities appearing out of nowhere, relationships realigning. It is not chance. It is not coincidence. It is the evidence of last night's conversation. The woman's tears watered the soil of your new beginning. The man's vanishing cleared the space for your rising. The relative's fainting confirmed the truth was too powerful to remain hidden. Together, these three signs prove that destiny has already moved in your favor. Don't scroll. Stay with me. Because the longer you hear this, the deeper the shift enters your spirit. Heaven is saying, rise, for I have called your name in places you did not know existed. Rise, for I have assigned angels to guard your journey. Rise, for what you thought was lost has been preserved for this very hour. They talked all night about you not because you are ordinary, but because you are extraordinary. Not because you are forgotten, but because you are chosen for remembrance. Not because you are weak, but because your strength has been proven. And now, what they whispered in the night is breaking into your daylight. You will not remain the same. You will not walk as before. You will not cry the same tears again. For the decree is sealed, and it cannot be reversed. The woman cried because she remembered how many times you stood alone. She saw how often you gave love to people who could not return it. She saw how often you carried pain in silence, pretending you were strong while your heart was breaking. Her tears were heaven's way of saying, your cries were never ignored. Every hidden tear has been turned into a seed of blessing, and now the harvest is coming. The man vanished because deception cannot survive when truth is released. He had tried to steal space in your story. He had tried to walk in a role that was never his. But when the courts of heaven spoke your name, his false authority collapsed. His disappearance was a declaration: no enemy can occupy what belongs to you anymore. The relative fainted because sometimes even the closest cannot carry the weight of your promise. The truth about you was too heavy for them to stand under. They collapsed, but you did not. Because you were built to carry the truth, you were chosen to walk with the weight of glory. Now hear me, God says, I am restoring what was lost. I am multiplying what was stolen. I am vindicating you before eyes that doubted. And I am placing in your hands the very thing that was discussed in the midnight hour. The gathering in heaven last night was not a discussion, it was a decree. They did not only talk, they decided. They sealed. They released. And what they released is now chasing you down. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but your spirit already feels it, that something has shifted. That heaviness is lifting. That light is breaking through. That destiny is unfolding. Don't doubt this moment. Don't treat it as ordinary. Because right now the very angels who whispered your name are standing by you. They are holding what was prepared for you. They are waiting for your heart to believe so they can place it in your hands. This is why you cannot skip. This is why you cannot scroll. Because the decree has already been signed, this one will rise. This one will shine. This one will not be stopped again. Every person who lied about you will watch the truth come alive. Every person who mocked you will see your honor return. Every person who doubted you will be silenced by your blessing. For God says, I will turn the same mouths that cursed you into witnesses of your glory. The woman's tears, the man's vanishing, the relatives fainting, these were not accidents. They were heaven's signs to you that the story has changed. That the page has turned. That the chapter of suffering is closing and the chapter of fulfillment is opening. So stand tall. Lift your head. Walk with faith. For what they said last night has already entered your today. You are not forgotten, you are remembered. You are not abandoned, you are chosen. You are not broken, you are being rebuilt with fire and glory. The woman's tears were not just emotion, they were a cleansing. Her crying washed away the residue of every season where you were unseen, unheard, and unloved. Those tears were proof that even strangers in the spirit world felt the weight of your pain and the beauty of your resilience. She cried because she knew joy was coming to replace your sorrow. The man's vanishing was not just disappearance, it was exposure. He carried shadows, but shadows cannot survive where light breaks in. His leaving made space for your rising. His absence was not a loss to you, it was a clearing of the path before you. He vanished because your truth finally entered the room. The relative's fainting was not weakness, it was revelation. Even blood could not hold the size of your calling. Even family could not stand under the weight of your story. That fainting was a sign that your destiny is bigger than the people who tried to define you. It was proof that what heaven is releasing for you is beyond human strength, it is supernatural. And now, child of eternity, hear the voice of the Lord, this is your time. This is your release. This is the hour I spoke about long before you were born. Every lie told against you has crumbled. Every chain placed upon you has broken. Every delay set before you has ended. Now walk into what was written with your name in fire. The angels that circled your name last night are standing guard at your door. They carry scrolls of blessing, keys of opportunity, and crowns of honor. They are waiting to hand them to you in the days ahead. When you feel the sudden shift, when you see the unexpected opening, when you sense the unexplainable peace, that is them fulfilling what was spoken. You will rise in front of those who doubted you. You will shine before those who mocked you. You will be honored in places where you were once rejected. The very table you cried over will become the table of your celebration. Heaven says, I am not only giving back what was taken, I am multiplying it. I am not only restoring what was stolen, I am expanding it. I am not only lifting you, I am establishing you where no hand can pull you down. So receive this word as your final confirmation. They talked all night about you because your story has reached its turning point. Your name has been signed into the book of release. Your journey has been rewritten by the pen of heaven. The woman's tears, the man's vanishing, the relative's fainting, these three signs are the seal of your new beginning. And nothing in this world, no force in the unseen, can erase what God has already set in motion for you. After the woman's tears fell, angels collected those tears in golden bowls. They carried them into the chamber of blessing, where every tear became a seed of joy. Those seeds are already planted into your tomorrow, and soon they will bloom into laughter, into unexpected favor, into doors you never knocked on but that will still open. After the man vanished, silence filled the space he once occupied. But it was not an empty silence, it was a holy silence. That silence was the sign of freedom, the sound of release, the clearing of shadows. Into that silence, God spoke your name again, louder this time, echoing through eternity, so that no one could ever pretend not to hear it again. After the relative fainted, angels rushed to lift them. But they did not lift them with human strength. They placed upon them the revelation that had crushed them, so that when they rise again, they rise with understanding. Their fainting was not their end, it was their awakening. And you? You did not faint. You did not vanish. You did not break. You stood, because you were made to stand. You were born to carry this mantle. You were destined to hold what others could not. God says, I have given you strength that comes from beyond. I have clothed you in resilience that cannot be measured. I have wrapped you in glory that cannot be stolen. And I have anointed you for seasons that no one else can walk through but you. Now, look around your life in the days ahead. Watch carefully, because everything is about to speak. The wind will carry confirmation. A stranger's word will echo last night's conversation. A door that opens suddenly will remind you that this was not imagination. Don't scroll. Because you are standing at the threshold of manifestation. The words you've heard are not empty, they are alive. And living words always create. Even now, they are creating the reality that will soon meet you face to face. This is the beauty of what heaven did last night. They talked all night about you, not to remind you of your pain, but to prepare you for your rising. They spoke not to revisit your wounds, but to declare your healing. They whispered not to trap you in memory, but to thrust you into destiny. And now, the only thing left is for you to walk into what is already waiting. Don't scroll, stay. Because what I am about to reveal is not just for your ears, it is for your spirit. Last night's gathering in heaven was not the end, it was the beginning. They did not only talk about you, they released instructions for angels to follow you. Picture it, after the woman cried, her tears watered a path that angels began to walk upon. They carried scrolls that had your name inscribed with fire. Those scrolls contained promises that had been delayed for years, blessings that were stored for the perfect moment, miracles that had been written long before you were born. And one by one, they began unsealing them. After the man vanished, light entered the space. And in that light, they spoke words that shook the atmosphere. No shadow will cover this name again. No lie will silence this voice again. No false power will block this path again. That declaration is still echoing right now. That is why, even as you hear this, something in your chest feels lighter, as if invisible chains are falling. After the relative fainted, the room grew still. And into that stillness, the truth about your inheritance was spoken. Yes, inheritance, not just of wealth, but of destiny. For every generation carries both blessings and battles. But God said, this one will not carry the battles of their family. This one will inherit only the blessings. The battles end here. The blessings begin here. Don't scroll, because this is your confirmation. The reason they talked about you all night was because a generational shift was taking place. Old patterns were breaking. Old cycles were ending. Old wounds were closing. And in their place, a new line was being drawn in fire. A line that says, from this one forward, everything changes. Now listen closely, because heaven has given you 3 signs to watch for in the days ahead. 1. The first sign, you will hear unexpected news that feels like restoration. It may come as a message, a letter, or a voice that speaks your name differently than before. This is the sign that the woman's tears were not wasted, that joy has begun to bloom. 2. The second sign, someone who stood against you will quietly step aside. They may not announce it, but their absence will be clear. This is the sign that the man's vanishing in heaven has manifested on earth. 3. The third sign, you will see a relative or someone close suddenly treat you differently, either with awe or with confusion. This is the sign that the fainting has reached their spirit, that they now recognize what is on you is greater than what they can explain. When you see these signs, do not fear. Do not question. Only remember, this was spoken before you ever saw it. God is saying, I am not only writing a new chapter, I am rewriting the entire story. What was against you has lost. What was hidden from you is revealed. What was delayed for you is released. And what is yours can no longer be stolen. So walk forward with confidence. For the same angels who carried your name last night are already walking ahead of you. They are setting the stage. They are preparing the way. They are opening the doors. And soon, you will walk into rooms you never imagined, sit at tables you never expected, and hold blessings you never dreamed possible. They talked all night about you because heaven was preparing you for the day your life would finally shift. That day is no longer coming, it is here.